Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing well. Asking for your prayers today, please. Remember I said I hit my head cleaning on a door handle. I had a big bump on my head. Remember that? Those nerves, both of them, are gone. Like I exercised, and so I set them off again. It's been on and off, but then I pulled another one, so I've got three nerves in my back. Please say a prayer for me because they're so painful. This is an important video today. They're very painful. I want to defend the Word of God today. I've been spending a lot of time in the Old Testament trying to learn all the laws and all the different things, from Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, all those things. Pardon me. It's very hard to make a video right now. Wow, it's a pain in my back. It's just like radiating so bad. I wanted to make this first. I'll make another video about this particular topic, which is, does God allow rape? Does God allow a woman to be raped? And a lot of people, it's my dysphonia in my voice, a lot of people, when they say I can destroy Christianity in 5 minutes or 1 minute or whatever, they don't understand what it even says. And so I think it's important to know that when these people make these, they haven't, like I would say in most cases, even the smartest people, they haven't looked further. So they read it and that's what they say and they walk away. That's how I see it. Because if they looked further, they would find the truth. So first I'm going to go to, so that's in Deuteronomy 22. And so there's this rape, right? And I did another video about Leviticus 26, about warnings, what would happen to the people of Israel if they went against God. And so I did that one already. I did why there were servants or slaves in Israel. I'm going to leave you a link. I want you to watch. It doesn't matter who it's by. It's how they explain it, right? So you're going to say it's a Seventh-day Adventist. Well, just listen to the way they explain why. I'm trying to study all the different laws that God made to understand them. I'm not saying we're under them. I just want to understand them to understand God better. Because the reason God made servants will surprise you. It was to keep them out of poverty and death. That's how deep it goes. It stays like that. It doesn't. There's nothing ominous about it. So I'll leave that link at the end. So this is the first thing I want to tackle. I want to read this, explain it the best I can with this pain in my back, and then I'm going to read you, I think it's Deuteronomy. I'll have to look that up again. It's maybe 26, 24, I don't know. I'll get to it though. So let's just read all the laws of sexual morality, okay? And we'll see where people go wrong in this. If a man takes a wife and goes into her and detests her and charges her with shameful conduct and brings a bad name on her, so that's not rape, this guy has gone wrong, and says, I took this woman and when I had sex with her, I found she wasn't a virgin, that the father and mother of the young woman shall take and bring out the evidence of the young woman's virginity to the elders of the city at the gate, and the young woman's father shall say to the elders, I gave my daughter to this man as wife, and he detests her. Now he has charged her with shameful conduct, saying, I found your daughter wasn't a virgin, and yet these are the evidences of my daughter's virginity. And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. How nice, right? Then the elders of that city shall take that man and punish him. God's so bad, right? And they shall fine him 100 shekels of silver and give them to the father of the young woman, because he has brought a bad name on a virgin of Israel. It's just like today, like defamation. And she shall be his wife. He cannot divorce her all his days. I'll just read this first, actually. But if the thing is true and evidences of virginity are not found for the young woman, then they shall bring out the young woman to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her to death. That sounds all with stones, because she has done a disgraceful thing in Israel, to play the harlot in her father's house. So you shall put away the evil from among you. We knew all these types of things. God, these are the laws before they're going into the land, okay? These are laws before they go into the land. So God's making it very straightforward. If you do this, why is he doing it? Because he loves them. He loves them. He doesn't want them to see evil. Look at the way the world is now and you wonder why it's so out of control. Because these types of things aren't in place. I'm not saying this is good, right? Maybe for some people. I'm not saying it's bad either. Remember what Paul says, is the law bad? He says no. If a man is found lying with a woman married to a husband, then both of them shall die. The man that lays with the woman, and the woman, you shall put away the evil from Israel. If a young woman who is a virgin is betrothed to a husband, and a man finds her in the city and lies with her. Okay, so this is where people get this wrong. Lies with her means she wanted to. Lies with her. That's what it means. Then you shall bring them both out to the city gate. You shall stone them to death with stones. The young woman, because she didn't cry out. It doesn't mean she was raped. You have to look what lies means. And the man, because he humbled his neighbor's wife. That's not what it means. So you shall put away the evil from among you. It's not what it means. I'm going to make a separate video about this. I researched it. They do, comparisons of other parts of the Bible. So when women willingly do things, it's called lies with. So that was, betrothed to a husband. So I guess they aren't married yet, but that was not adultery, but... Or is that betrothed to a husband? Married father. I'll have to look at that later. But if a man finds a betrothed young woman in the countryside and forces her, so there's the difference, right? There is the difference. Lies, forces. Rape, willing. You get that, right? And forces her and lies with her, then only the man who lays with her shall die. This is where the people make videos, and I wouldn't say they're lying, but they're not learning. But you shall do nothing to the woman. There is in the young woman no sin deserving of death. For just as when a man rises against his neighbor and kills him, even so is this matter. It's just like you think it should be. For he found her in the countryside, and the betrothed young woman cried out, but there was no one to save her. This is where people get wrong here. If a man finds a young woman who is a virgin, who is not betrothed, and he seizes her and lies with her, they are found out. And they are found out, then the man who lay with her shall give to the young woman 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he has humbled her. he shall not be permitted to divorce her all his days. So you think, how? It sounds like rape. It isn't rape. Lies. It's lies with her. She was willing. And that verse there, and he seizes her and lies with her. It was willing. That seizes, there's something with this translation that's incorrect. I can't tell you exactly why. I got to make another video. It's not what you think. And I read in another thing when I was learning about this that they've already spoken about rape already. So why would they be speaking about it again? You get my point? Why would they? So that passage was already passed. I just read it to you. What happens to a man if he rapes? So why would they be talking about it again? Then the man who lay with her shall give to the young woman's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife. So because he's humbled her. Humbled her doesn't mean raped her, by the way. So defending the word of God. So I'm going to go to this, and I'm going to read this. This is a long warning. Let me see here. Where is it? It's under oh yeah. I think it's 28. So before I read Leviticus 26, this is Leviticus 28. There's blessings on obedience and curses on disobedience. Listen to this. So you wonder, after 70 AD, and then the exile, and you look at Jews spread all over the world, all these, you wonder why they're a byword and why people hate them. There's a reason why people hate the Jews, and they've been persecuted throughout history, because God tells you in the word of God, right? He tells you, I think, in Exodus, he tells you in Leviticus, and now I'm learning in Deuteronomy 28. So I'm going to read it to you in a second. It's quite long. And so remember, I'm going to leave at the end of this an explanation of servitude. So if you were so poor, you could sell yourself to whatever, and then you'd be released on the 7th year. So my back, man. I tell you, there's nothing worse than nerve pain. Nothing worse than nerve pain. Like, it's the type of pain that just makes your face like crunched up. And alright, so here we go. But it shall come to pass, if you don't obey the voice, curses on disobedience. If you don't obey the voice of the Lord your God, to observe carefully all his commandments and his statutes, which I command you today, that all these curses which come upon you and overtake you, cursed shall you be in the city and in the country. Cursed shall be your basket and your kneading bowl. Cursed shall be the fruit of your body and the produce of your land, the increase of your cattle and the offspring of your flocks. Cursed shall you be when you come in and when you go out. The Lord will send on you cursing, confusion, rebuke, and all that you set your hand to do, until you're destroyed, until you perish quickly, because of the wickedness of your doings in which you have forsaken me. The Lord will make the plague cling to you until he has consumed you from the land which you're going to possess. The Lord will strike you with consumption, fever, inflammation, severe burning fever, with the sword, scorching, mildew. They shall pursue you until you perish. And your heavens, which are over your head, shall be bronze, and the earth below you shall be iron. The Lord will change the rain of your land to powder and dust. From the heaven it shall come down on you until you're destroyed. Does that not sound bad enough already? The Lord will cause you to be defeated before your enemies. You shall go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them. This is like just the opposite of the blessing before it. You shall become troublesome to all the kingdoms of the earth. This is happening. You know, you're going to say, well, they came back in 48. You don't see the trouble that's still going on? But that will end. Your carcasses shall be food for all the birds of the air and the beasts of the earth, and no one shall frighten them away. The Lord will strike you with the boils of Egypt, with tumors, scabs, itches, from which you can't be healed. The Lord will strike you with madness and blindness and confusion of heart, and you shall grope at noonday, as a blind man gropes in the darkness. You shall not prosper in your ways. You shall be only oppressed and plundered continually, and no one shall save you. You shall betroth a wife, but another man will lie with her. You shall build a house, but you shall not dwell in it. Plant a vineyard, but not gather its grapes. Your ox shall be slaughtered before your eyes, but you won't eat it. Your donkey will be violently taken away before you, and not be restored to you. Your sheep shall be given to your enemies, and you shall have no one to rescue them. Your sons and your daughters shall be given to another people, and your eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all day long. And there shall be no strength in your hand. A nation whom you have not known shall eat the fruit of your land and the produce of your labor, and you shall be only oppressed and crushed continually. So you shall be driven mad because of the sight which your eyes see. Sounds like Job, eh? The Lord will strike you in the knees and on the legs with severe boils which can't be healed, from the sole of your foot to the top of your head. He will bring on you and the king whom you set over you to a nation which neither you or your fathers have known, and there you shall serve other gods, wood and stone, and you shall become an astonishment, a proverb, a byword. Has that not happened? All throughout history, among all nations where the Lord will drive you. Pardon me. You see all the people? All over the world hating Israel? Would you think that's part of it? They're still paying the price? Clearly Zechariah and Isaiah and I don't know if it's Jeremiah, I forget right now, but clearly there will be a promise of their restoration. It will happen. You shall carry much seed out to the field, but gather little in, for the locust shall consume it. You shall plant vineyards and tend to them, but you shall neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worms shall eat them. Like this just keeps going on. You shall have olive trees throughout all your territory, but you shall not anoint yourself with the oil, for your olives shall drop off. You shall beget sons and daughters, but they shall not be yours, for they shall go into captivity. Locusts will consume all your trees and the produce of your land. The alien who is among you shall rise higher and higher above you. You shall become lower and lower. That sounds like what's happening in North America. He shall lend to you, but you shall not lend to him. These are just opposites of the blessings. He shall be the head, and you shall be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon you and pursue you and overtake you until you're destroyed, because you didn't obey the voice of the Lord your God to keep his commandments, statutes which he commanded you. And they shall be upon you for a sign and a wonder, and on your descendants forever. Because you didn't serve the Lord your God with joy and gladness of heart for the abundance of everything, therefore you shall serve your enemies, whom the Lord will send against you, in hunger, thirst, nakedness, need of everything, and he will put a yoke of iron on your neck until he's destroyed you. The Lord will bring a nation against you from afar. Listen to how precise this is. From the ends of the earth. So this was Babylon, right? Nebuchadnezzar. From the end of the earth, as swift as an eagle flies, a nation whose language you will not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which doesn't respect the elderly nor show favor to the young. And they shall eat the increase of your livestock and the produce of your land until you're destroyed. You'd think this would be done, right? They shall leave you grain, not leave you grain, new wine or oil. Or the increase of your cattle, or the offspring of your flocks until they've destroyed you. They shall besiege you at your gates until your high and fortified walls in which you trust shall come down throughout all your land. They shall besiege you at your gates throughout all your land which the Lord your God has given you. You shall eat the fruit of your own body. Listen to this. The flesh of your sons, daughters, and this happened, okay? Whom the Lord your God has given you, in the siege and desperate straits in which your enemies shall distress you. This is insane. The sensitive and very refined man among you will be hostile towards his brother. So they're saying even the nicest of people, toward the wife of his bosom and toward the rest of his children, whom the Lord leaves behind, so that he will not give any of them the flesh of his children, whom he will eat, because he has nothing left in the siege and desperate straits, in which your enemy shall distress you at all your gates. The tender and delicate woman among you, so man and woman, who would not venture to set the sole of her foot on the ground because of her delicateness and sensitivity, will refuse to the husband of her bosom and to her son and daughter her placenta, which comes out from between her feet, and her children whom she bears, for she will eat them secretly for lack of everything in the siege. Wow. And desperate straits in which your enemy shall distress you at all your gates. This type of thing happened in have you ever seen the siege of Leningrad? To think of the last type of thing like that happening. Not like this though. If you this nerve pain, man. It's like radiating in my scalp. If you don't carefully observe all the words of this law that are written in this book, that you may fear this glorious and awesome name, the Lord your God, then the Lord will bring upon you and your descendants extraordinary plagues, great and prolonged plagues, serious and prolonged sickness. Moreover, he will bring on you all the diseases of Egypt, which you are afraid, and they shall cling to you. Also, so if that wasn't enough, also, verse 61, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of the law, the Lord will bring upon you until you're destroyed, saying anything. You should be left few in number, whereas you were as the stars of heaven in multitude, because you wouldn't obey the voice of your Lord your God. And it shall be that just as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good and multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and bring you to nothing. He'll rejoice. He's not happy about it. He's happy to put the evil away. And you shall be plucked from off the land which you go to possess. And the Lord will scatter you among all peoples. Happened. It's still happened. From one end of the earth to the other. And you shall serve other gods, little g, which neither you nor your fathers have known, wood and stone. And among those nations you shall find no rest. Nor shall the sole of your foot have a resting place. But there the Lord will give you a trembling heart, failing eyes, and anguish of soul. Your life shall hang in doubt before you. You shall fear day and night. have no assurance of life. In the morning you shall say, oh, that it were evening. And at evening you shall say, oh, that it were morning. That's the way a lot of people are today, I would say, because of the fear which terrifies your heart and because of the sight which your eyes see. And the Lord will take you back to Egypt in ships, by the way of which I said to you, you shall never see it again. And there you should be offered for sale to your enemies as male and female slaves, but nobody will buy you. That's that chapter. But it also goes on to say that, but, when you're in that land and if your heart is circumcised and you come back to the Lord and you're repentant and all that type of stuff, he will bring you back. That's what it is. But, so what was that? That was verse 68. That was a long chapter, but that really begins at, verse 15, curses on disobedience. And so blessing on obedience is from verse 1 to 14, and then it goes from disobedience 15 to 68. That's quite severe. It's quite straightforward, and it happened. It happened quite a few times. But anyways, thanks for watching today's video. I will sometimes I forget to leave links because I'm just like so overwhelmed sometimes. So please say a prayer for the nerves in my back. I don't know, part of it can be muscle too, but I do things to keep in shape, and sometimes those things hurt me, but it all began with hitting my head on that thing. So anyways, thanks for watching today's video. God bless everybody.